Hello everyone. We are going to make creme brulee, one of my favorite desserts. It's just so rich and creamy, just total deliciousness with the caramel on top that's hardened, the burned sugar. I just love the combination, the nice hard sugar that's slightly warm and the cool creamy texture inside. I love it. Lots of different flavors. We're going to keep this one semi-basic. I did, however, infuse some Earl Grey tea inside of my heavy cream this time around, and I love the bergamot flavor. It's an orange, and it's just I just love it. So that's what I did with this one. I am going to take some egg yolks. So this baked custard is rich, and it's made rich with heavy cream and egg yolks. And the only part of this process that's on the stove top is just heating up the cream, and we're going to temper that in with our yolks. You could use a whisk. I'm just using a spatula. And then once that has been mixed and your heavy cream has been scalded, we are going to temper this into our egg yolk mixture, okay? And very, very simple. Just have to remember, boy meets girl, girl meets girl, boy meets boy. However all that works out, it needs to be done carefully. You don't want to rush into it because it will be a disaster, which is no different than what we're doing here. If I just dump this in to these egg yolks, they're gonna like scream, and they're gonna be curdled. You're gonna have scrambled eggs. Alrighty, so just like in a relationship, those ones that you've rushed into, and I've told you about that before. So take your time, right? So temper it in. Hello, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, you weren't so bad. So then you slowly, get involved with each other. You start off on some nice dates. Go to the movies. Okay, maybe not to the movies right now, but you slowly get to know each other. And then this is much more cooperative, all right? So mix that in together. And now I'm going to pass it through a sieve or what do you call this thing? A china cap. And that's to make sure that I did not get any cooked egg, any eggshell, because that would be a total disaster. If I had lemon zest or something like that in here, I could also strain that out. Pour it in, and that's done. And now I have prepared some ramekins, alrighty. And you don't need to treat them or anything. Let me rinse that out, get a new one. And I spilled something. Alrighty, here's another one. Alright, so I am going to pour in. I avoid whisking because I don't want a bunch of bubbles on top. And if you do, you might want to just get rid of them. Take a toothpick if it's excessive. Look, almost had that perfectly. All right, so that is that. This has to be covered and go into the oven. And it's going to sit in a water bath because we want to protect this custard. It's very, very delicate and can be very temperamental, and you don't want to see it when it's, not well taken care of. So my preference, and I think your preference, should be to start this off with very hot water, which would be closer to the temperature of what's in the oven. So it could start to cook a little bit faster. keep in mind that it is cooking slowly while it's in the oven, but it would take even longer if we started this off with cold water. So we want to mimic the temperature in the oven and at the same time protect the walls of your custard. So you can boil some water. I'm just using very hot water. And about halfway up the sides of the pan, you could cover this with aluminum foil. I have always just used a piece of parchment paper to cover it, and I have a temperature of about 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And this usually takes about, I'm going to check it at 20 minutes, but it could take, 25, 30 minutes, but hopefully it doesn't take that long. But we'll nonetheless check it, all right? And then when we return, we are going to cool them off a little bit, and then we'll put sugar on top and caramelize that sugar for some yummy creme brulee. So here I have my Earl Grey creme brulee. I already started applying sugar to 2 of these. This one's going to get a second layer because I want it just a little bit darker. I'm using granulated sugar. So pour your granulated sugar inside and kind of moving it around so it gets right to the edges. And if you wanted to, you can just do 1 layer, but I like 2 layers. Come on. Let's hope I have a little more juice left in here. And I do. Sweeping motion if you are using a torch. You could also use your broiler in your oven at home, but just be certain to really watch it well because you will get your browning rather quickly. And then in no time flat, after a few seconds, this caramel is going to harden, and then you serve it to your guest. You don't want to burn anybody, so be certain that it's cooled down just slightly. And you could hear that nice hard crunch that will crack and lead you to a beautiful, soft, creamy and texture inside creme brulee.